JBN, we keep you informed. I am Michelle Jones, and in the news, taxi driver charged following the death of motorcyclist in Manchester. The Manchester police have charged the driver of a Toyota Probox taxi with causing death by dangerous driving following Sunday's fatal crash on the Winston Jones Highway in Mandeville, which claimed the life of 19-year-old motorcyclist Tajay Millard, otherwise called Fabian. Superintendent Gary Francis, head of the Manchester Police, said that the driver had turned himself in at the Spanish Town Police Station yesterday. His identity has been withheld pending further investigation. According to eyewitnesses, the motorcycle and the taxi were traveling uphill towards Mandeville shortly before 1 p.m. when the crash occurred. Millard was reportedly pinned under the taxi and dragged on the road surface. He was taken to the Mandeville Regional Hospital, where he was pronounced dead on arrival. Meanwhile, tempers flared yesterday as residents in the community of Battersea, where Millard is from, hurled stones and bottles at the crash scene in anger. Millard's grandfather, Everton Morrison, said that his grandson was heading towards Mandeville when the crash occurred. Superintendent Francis spoke to the angry residents, appealing for calm. Portland farmer charged with the chopping death of another farmer. A 34-year-old farmer has been arrested and charged in connection with the murder of another farmer whose body was found with multiple chop wounds in Portland on Friday. He has been identified as Junior Authors, otherwise known as Huntsman. It was reported that 46-year-old Wayne Wilson, also known as Bubba, of Windsor Forest in the parish, left his home about 7 a.m. Friday for his farm in the mountain section of his community, but did not return to his residence at his usual time. An alarm was subsequently raised, and a search of the area was conducted by residents. Police report that about 10:30 a.m., the lifeless body of Wilson was found with multiple chop wounds on Author's farm in the community. Authors was subsequently arrested and charged for murder after he was held trying to leave the parish on Sunday, the police reported. Police said Authors has since given a confession statement to the police. He will appear before the Portland Parish Court at a date to be announced. Ladden pleads guilty to gun charges. Dancehall artist Ladden, whose given name is O'Keefe Aarons, pleaded guilty to charges of illegal possession of a firearm and illegal possession of ammunition in the St. Elizabeth Circuit Court this afternoon. The 33-year-old artist has been in police custody since October 28, when he and two other people were arrested in Cheapside, St. Elizabeth. The other two accused, 21-year-old Seani Banks and his younger brother, were acquitted of gun charges today. Ladden is said to be sentenced on December 15. According to police report, about 10:40 p.m. on October 28, lawmen were in Cheapside, St. Elizabeth, when they signaled the driver of a black Mercedes-Benz motorcar to stop. The driver initially complied, but sped off when the police approached. The police said a chase ensued, and during the chase, an object was seen being thrown from the sunroof of the car. When the police caught up with the vehicle, the occupants were arrested and taken back to the site where the object was witnessed being thrown from the car. 3 communities in Trelawney get piped water. 3 communities in Trelawney are to benefit from improved water supply with the completion of the National Water Commission's NWC's Wakefield to Bunkers Hill Pipeline Replacement Project. The newly commissioned potable water pipeline will benefit residents in Wakefield, Friendship, and Bunkers Hill. NWC said 41 service connections have been installed, while 50% of the connections have been transferred to the new 150 millimeters pipeline as of Friday, November 20. In the meantime, there is an ongoing effort to identify existing service connections that are to be transferred to the new pipeline, the Commission said. It stated that prior to the implementation of the project, several sections of various communities along the route of the new pipeline were without their precious commodity. Now, however, These residents are the beneficiaries of the new network and receiving water in their taps at good pressures. Meanwhile, delinquent customers in the respective communities are being urged to settle any outstanding balance on their account in order to be transferred to the new pipeline. NWC said it is now treating as a priority the conversion of inactive accounts to active customers as part of a strategic measure to have more billed customers benefit from the new pipeline. 87-year-old woman dies from COVID. 54 new cases recorded. Jamaica has recorded another COVID-19 related death and 54 new cases of the virus in the last 24 hours. According to the Ministry of Health and Wellness, the death of an 87-year-old woman from Westmoreland brings the country's death toll to 257. The ministry noted that the woman's death was previously under investigation. The 54 new cases, 22 males and 32 females with ages ranging from 12 to 83 years, bring the total number of confirmed cases in the island to 10,763, of which 4,139 are active. The cases were recorded in Kingston and St. Andrew 14, St. Catherine 13, Westmoreland 9, Trelawney 6, St. James 4, Hanover 3, Manchester 2, St. Elizabeth 2, Portland 1, St. Mary 1, and St. Thomas 1. The country also recorded 153 recoveries, bringing the total recoveries to 6,219. San Diego police sued for a wrongful death of Jamaican. The family of Oral Nunes Sr., a Jamaican man who died in the custody of the Chula Vista police, has sued the San Diego city government and the police department for what they are alleging is his wrongful death at the hands of officers. The four claims allege violation of Nunes' civil rights, false imprisonment, assault and battery, and negligence. While the claims did not specify monetary compensation, they nevertheless asked for the statutory amount of $25,000 on each count. The lawsuit, filed on behalf of Nunes' wife, Roxy, and daughter, Naomi, by attorney Carl Douglas, asked for a jury trial. They also want juries to determine compensation. Nunes died on March 13, 2020, while in the custody of 5 officers of the Chula Vista Police Department, after his daughter called 911 to report that her father was having issues after taking medication. Speaking at a news conference last Tuesday to announce the lawsuit, Nunes said she was still struggling with the loss of her husband. He loved playing soccer and cooking with his younger children. It is very hard, especially at this time of the year. My family has been destroyed, and I'm asking for answers to the killing of my husband, she said. Mrs. Nunes noted that while the police chief has expressed sadness at the passing of her husband, the city's administration, including the mayor, has not reached out to the family. Naomi Nunes, the family's eldest daughter, also spoke at the news conference. She questioned why the police killed her father when all they needed to do was heed the family's request not to restrain him because of his claustrophobia. I want justice for my father, she said, breaking down. Naomi said that had she known that her father would have been killed by the police, she would never have called them in the first place. Attorney Carl Douglas, who is representing the Nuneses in the wrongful death lawsuit, said that Mr. Nunes was just another black man who has died at the hands of the police for no good reason. Douglas blasted the police department and the city government for refusing to release the police body camera footage as requested. He said that an independent autopsy has determined that Mr. Nunes had not died from natural causes, but the city is still not releasing the report to the family. What are they hiding? Douglas asked. The complaint filed by the attorney noted that it was clear to a rational officer that Mr. Nunes was suffering from a mental illness crisis. The complaint further stated that Mr. Nunes was reportedly acting out of character and trying to injure himself. The complaint further stated that there was no reason to believe that he was armed, dangerous, or creating a serious threat to anyone's physical safety. Tablets handed over to Christiana Least Primary School. 16 tablet computers were handed over to Christiana Least Primary School by the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information as the government continues the distribution of devices under the Tablets in Schools program. The government, through e-learning Jamaica, began the distribution of 40,000 tablets to students on the Program for Advancement through Health and Education path on October 2. The devices are targeted at pupils in grades 4 to 6. This is the beginning of a journey for the education sector to have more technology embedded in education. Technology will accelerate and enrich learning, and at the end of the day, we all want to see better outcomes from the education sector. Education Minister Favour Williams said at the handover ceremony held at the school in Manchester on November 27. Even if we return to face-to-face learning tomorrow, technology will remain a permanent part of the education sector because there's a massive digital divide across the island that the government has to step in and close, she added. Regarding the ministry's Own Your Own Device initiative program, Williams said this will benefit an estimated 36,000 needy students in primary and secondary schools across the island. Under the program, parents or guardians will receive an electronic voucher, e-voucher, valued at $20,000 for the purchase of a device from an approved vendor. Some vendors are also providing financing, so if a parent puts the voucher towards buying a tablet, some of them will allow parents to pay for it over time, the education minister said. Williams also mentioned the One Laptop or Tablet per Child initiative, which is designed to promote inclusivity in the education sector by providing needy students with the requisite tools to function in the online teaching and learning environment. So far, I am very pleased. Corporate Jamaica has come on board with groups such as the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange, Private Sector Organization of Jamaica, National Commercial Bank Foundation, Muslim Group, Sandals, and the Manpower and Maintenance Services Limited to ensure that all our children have access to a device, Williams said. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.